Hey everyone, it's Noah Faraday here, and today we're ghost hunting at the Tewksbury Hospital in Massachusetts. These buildings here, this 800 acres of land, almost 1,000 acres of land, has a crap ton of history. A crap ton. Oh, you hear that? Was that a ghost? I think it was a freaking ghost. Oh my god, we're using phone apps, so of course it's gonna be real. Oh my god, it's real! Oh my phone, oh god! What is a ghost? It's a ghost! Holy shit! Help, guys, I can't paranormal investigate any longer. I'm too scared. I almost died in this abandoned location.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It's J-Mass, and I'm back again with another dope New England adventure. Guys, I am really excited for today's video because we're going to be doing something I've never done on this channel before. Instead of doing urban exploration like I usually do, instead, we're going to be doing some paranormal investigations. And I've never done paranormal investigating on this channel for one simple reason. I don't really believe in it. I'm actually what many people would call a skeptic. I don't really believe in the paranormal or the supernatural. But that being said, I do respect those who do. And today I'm actually going to be joining forces with a paranormal investigating YouTuber, and I'm really excited for that. It's going to be a different change of pace. But before we get into that, I do want to give you guys some background information on the history of the site we're going to be investigating. So I'm currently on the campus of the Tewksbury Hospital here in the town of Tewksbury, Massachusetts, located just outside of Lowell. And the Tewksbury Hospital is not abandoned. It's actually still an active hospital to this day. But many of the former buildings on the campus that are pretty notorious have been abandoned or are currently abandoned. But most of the buildings on the Tewksbury Hospital campus are still active. It is still an active medical center. Now, the Tewksbury Hospital first opened up in 1854. At that time, it was known as the Tewksbury Almshouse. And if you don't know, an almshouse is basically a charitable residence for poor people to reside. But by the 1880s, it solely became a hospital, focusing on helping the mentally and physically ill. Now, between 1894 and 1905, there was a serious expansion of the hospital, and then a second expansion in the 1930s. And throughout the many decades that followed, the hospital basically operated, helping a lot of people. Well, helping. We'll get into that later. But it operated for many decades, up until 1971, when many of those buildings that are pretty notorious today were razed and demolished. Now, the Tewksbury Hospital name wasn't actually given until 1959, but even before that, the hospital cycled through many names. But in 1959, it was coined Tewksbury Hospital, and it's still known as that today. So even though most of the old Tewksbury Hospital has been demolished and razed in the 1970s, a lot of the buildings still do remain, including this one behind me, the old administration building, which I believe dates back to the late 19th century. Today, the old administration building is actually the Public Health Museum. It's a reservation-only museum. I really want to check it out someday, but unfortunately I wasn't able to today. But yeah, we're going to get right into it, guys. We're going to be checking out the Tewksbury Hospital, and specifically, we're going to be checking out the cemetery. And I'll get more into that as we get over there, but we're going to be checking out the Tewksbury Hospital Cemetery, where many of the patients who suffered are buried. And we're going to be doing a paranormal investigation with a fellow YouTuber. I'm really excited to get into this, guys. I've never done anything like this on this channel before, and as a skeptic, I'm curious to see what happens. But as always, guys, if you love abandoned sites, urban exploration, and traveling New England, well, feel free to follow the channel, or you can follow me on Instagram at JMassOfficial. That's at JMassOfficial. But we're going to get right into it and do some paranormal investigation on the Tewksbury Hospital campus, specifically in the cemetery. Let's check it out. So guys, I'm currently joined today by Noah Faraday. What's going on, guys? So he's actually a paranormal investigator on YouTube, and we've been aware of each other for quite some time now, right?
Yes.
We first started talking in 2022. I think we were commenting on each other's videos for a while. That was like almost 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
But finally, we met up, and we're going to be paranormally investigating the Tewksbury Hospital Cemetery, also known as the Pines. And I'm really excited to check it out.
Woo!
So guys, I just got to start by saying, please follow Noah Faraday on YouTube. He makes a lot of dope content, and it's not just paranormal investigations. You do a lot of urban exploration too, right?
Heck yes, urbex exploring.
Yeah. So he does a lot of urbex, he does paranormal investigations, he has a lot of cool stuff, and it's all locally based in the New England area, just like me. So definitely check out Noah Faraday. He's a great content creator, really cool guy, and yeah, we're gonna get started.
Sweet, let's do it.
Nice.
Okay, so this spirit box. With the spirit box, of course, there is radio. There is FM channel, and there's AM channel.
Okay.
Right? FM has a lot of interference, and that's where a lot of paranormal investigators go wrong. They sweep it in FM, meaning that all they're going to get is radio stations.
Okay.
Okay? So what we need to do is, our goal is to eliminate most of the interference.
Got it.
We need to, because we need to make sure that we can isolate the real words from the interference. So the antenna is the most important part when you're out ghost hunting. The antenna serves as a microphone for a ghost.
Gotcha.
So
that's like their way to speak through.
Exactly.
Okay.
So when they talk into it, the spirit box pulls the power from the antenna, brings it down to the transmission, and now the speaker.
Okay. Gotcha.
There's way more than this though. There's a crap ton more. So they use energy broadcasting through the speaker. They use the white noise energy, the radio waves, and the sweep rate energy all together to actually communicate.
Okay.
Everything has to do with energy. All of those energies together allows them to talk.
Gotcha.
Now,
so this is sort of like a translator in a way for ghosts. Interesting.
Exactly. So I'm gonna break down the energies here. White noise energy. That's a pretty important part. So when we sweep it in AM, I'm gonna pause it. It's on FM. So when we put in forwards, right? This is what other YouTube paranormal investigators do.
So I can hear like bits and pieces of the radio coming through.
Yeah.
Like I heard New England just said.
Yeah. So what's crazy about that is that FM picks up a lot of, obviously a lot of radio, but AM picks up power lines and distant radio.
Okay.
So we eliminate most of the interference by setting it to AM. We sweep it backwards.
Okay.
And that is white noise.
Gotcha. Okay.
So the theory is that the spirit box is creating this pulse right now, right?
Yep.
And this pulse in between stations is, in between it's like a riff. It's like almost like a veil. And the spirit is able to feel and see that veil, and that white noise energy calls and pulls them in.
Oh, I see.
Okay,
Yep.
so they need to figure out how to understand this device. And you can start running the spirit box for a while and get nothing. It's because they're trying to actually understand it. The antenna is very important because, like, we need interference still.
Yep.
We need some interference. If we're putting it in AM and sweeping in reverse, that means if there is that distant radio that occurs, instead of it being like, welcome to WBBC News, it will be reversed.
Yeah. Okay,
right?
that makes sense. Yeah.
So what happens is that'll get cut down into gibberish. You need the antenna so you can get interference. The reason why you need interference is so you can isolate the real words from the interference. So you still need the interference.
Gotcha.
So you know if you get a, hi, my name is Bob, I'm dead, you fucking know it's real.
So essentially, if you have it going backwards and you hear a forward speaking word, that's when you know something's up?
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay, that's cool actually. That's pretty cool.
The white noise energy, like I said, they need to grasp it and run it through. So not only the white noise energy allows them to talk, it's radio waves. That's energy as well, and the sweep rate energy as well. You can sweep the device and they'll talk through with multiple words in one sweep, or you can get a whole sentence in multiple sweeps. So that's the way of them understanding how to use the device.
So Noah, one thing I was just thinking, you said that harnesses radio frequencies to power itself. So one thing I'm thinking is, if that takes radio frequencies, basically rewinds it backwards and spits it out forwards, wouldn't that just be vocals from a radio station?
No, since it's on, since we're on the AM, like I said, since we're working in the backward setting, that interference is always going to be
Yeah.
And that in between, that and this that's cycling, they're able to actually talk in between those interferences.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Yeah.
'Cause it's, like I said, since it's a pulse, they're finding that's also energy. The interference is energy. So
Okay.
because the sweeping is constant, it's always going to be dun 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 dun. So when that we need that because the antenna is there.
Okay, that makes sense.
You know?
Yeah.
And obviously without the antenna, it's faulty. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
You know
makes
what I
sense.
mean?
Yeah.
Cool.
Sure. Cool.
Got any more questions?
I think I'm just ready to get started. I'm hyped for this investigation. Before we get into it, guys, though, I'm just going to show you around the cemetery just a little bit to get you an idea of the environment. And I think we're just going to get right into it. Woo! Let's do this!
Yes!
The boys!
The boys!
Yeah! Woo! So before we get started, I just want to give you guys a bit of a lay of the land. This right here is the Tewksbury Hospital Cemetery, also known as the Pines. And if you're wondering why it's called the Pines, I mean, take a look. It's pretty self-explanatory. This is a very heavily wooded cemetery, right in the middle of the woods, just outside of the Tewksbury Hospital campus. And this is a public cemetery. It's actually right along some public hiking trails, so anyone can come here. But yeah, before we get investigating, I just want to show you what this cemetery is like, because it's a very interesting one, and we actually chose this specifically for a reason. So most of the graves here at the cemetery are between 1890 and 1933. So most of the people who were buried here were buried between 1890 and 1933. This is actually a pretty good example right here. So we have Federico Aleva. He was born in 1876, died in 1900. However, this is a very rare example of a grave because most of the burials in the cemetery are not fully marked like this. I mean, this is a straight up cross made of stone. That's actually not what most of the burials are like, and I'll show you a solid example of what most of them are like. Most of the burials in the cemetery look like this. They're little crosses with a pink flag next to them. That's because, by and large, this is an unmarked cemetery. Very few names. Most of the burials are actually marked by pink flags with nothing at them, or by numbers. And that's because so many people at this cemetery suffered and died in obscurity. No names, no dates, nothing. They basically died with no one knowing who they were. They died as a set of numbers, and it's really depressing. So I just want to say that we're going to be very respectful in the cemetery. This is a very somber location. Again, so many people here who died perished in suffering and misery. Here's actually some more, and this is actually what I was talking about right here. Check this out. So this is grave 195, grave 195. I mean, the person who's buried right there doesn't even have a name listed. They don't even have their birth date, their death date, just 195. They were patient 195. It's depressing to think about. In fact, if you're wondering how many people are buried here, 8,500 patients. Over the course of this 3.5 acre cemetery, 8,500 patients from the Tewksbury Hospital between 1895 and 1933 are buried here. It's extremely depressing. I just want to show you guys a bit more of the cemetery. So we got some more unmarked graves right here. Again, most of them are identified by these pink flags and these little crosses. So this is 167, grave 167. It's 168. Oh, actually that's 166, 165. So again, these are all numbered. We don't even know who these people are. But this right here is another example of a legitimate grave. There's only a handful of these in this whole cemetery. This is John Scanlon, who died November 12th, 1894. Actually, someone left a little penguin right there, a couple flowers. So again, there are some actual graves like this, but again, most of them are completely unmarked. This is a very somber place, and I do kind of want to talk about, you know, the horrendous misery and suffering that occurred at this hospital. The Tewksbury Hospital is pretty infamous for being a very fucked up place. And a lot of the people who suffered here suffered in excruciating pain, misery, neglect, abuse. In fact, one of the most famous patients of the Tewksbury Hospital was Anne Sullivan. If you don't know, Anne Sullivan was actually Helen Keller's tutor. And she resided at the Tewksbury Hospital between 1876 and 1880, 4 years. She said she hated it. It was one of the worst experiences of her life. And I don't blame her. So much abuse and mistreatment occurred here. But again, as you wander through the pines, you know, the Tewksbury Hospital Cemetery, and you just see the mass graves everywhere. So many unmarked. It's really somber. You really do feel a depressing tension as you wander around. And I do think with this paranormal investigation with Noah, you know, maybe we'll find something, you know. Again, I'm a bit of a skeptic myself, but it's an interesting location to check that out. So we're gonna get to it, but I did just want to show you guys the pines. It's a really gorgeous spot, you know, very scenic, but the history of what we're walking through, very scary.
All right, y'all. So before we get into this investigation, I want to mention that this is not like paranormal investigations, like real paranormal investigations, is not like TV or any other of these YouTube ghost hunters, because, well, it's a lot of waiting around for nothing to happen.
Hours even.
Hours, yep. You can be in a cemetery for 12 hours and you can get a sliver of evidence. That's it, for the whole 12 hours. It's not like you get evidence every single 5 seconds. And we have to make sure that we're using equipment that we know that will work, and not like phone apps or EMF meters that detect power in the house, that sort of stuff. So let's run a spirit box and we'll scan the area of the IR light camera.
Awesome.
And see what's going on.
I'm hyped.
Let's expect the worst. It's an AM. In reverse. At this point, we're operating the spirit box correctly.
Awesome.
All right, it's gonna take a little bit for them to understand, so we might not get nothing for about 10 to 15 minutes. Maybe they're smart enough to actually understand it early. We don't know just yet. Let's hope.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens. Is there anybody here with us right now? Anyone died by tuberculosis? So anyone die here from tuberculosis or smallpox? Anyone here? My name is Noah. Right beside me is my friend Jacob.
And it's best if you talk to them, right?
Yep.
Is there anyone there? Anybody?
It might take you a while to understand this device, but I believe you have the energy to do so. We're not here to harm you. We're here for science, documentation, research. If you are here right now, can you please talk to us?
We're just here to talk. And you guys are probably going to hear a lot of blips like that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Just little blips of noise.
Yep. Earlier, you were trying to say something before.
Hello? Anyone there? We just want to talk.
Absolutely nothing.
So far, nothing.
Nope.
Yeah, stuff like that. You guys are going to hear a lot of blips,
Right.
you know? And Noah, how long on average does a typical investigation take?
I'd say 6 hours.
6 hours, guys.
6 hours.
So we could be here for many hours throughout the night
Yeah.
until we even hear anything.
When my team and I go to residential cases, when we go to residential housing to investigate their homes, we don't get nothing. We only get like slivers of evidence, and that's it. It's all patience, though. That's what it is. It's all patience.
Makes
Patience
sense.
is key. You're waiting for them to talk. We can't force them.
Yep.
If they are here, still here in this cemetery,
Makes sense.
or anywhere that's supposedly haunted.
And it's entirely possible you could even find nothing, right?
Right, exactly. Majority
So
of
it's
the
very hit or
time, it's
miss.
nothing.
Yeah. Very hit or miss.
Very hit or miss. So there's 8,500 people here, and no one wants to talk to me? No one wants to talk to us? I bet you haven't been heard in forever. Do you want to say something to us? We can hear your voice, you know, if you talk.
Even just one person. Even just one person, if you guys want to talk. We're listening.
We're here to listen. We're not here to make it go away. No gibberish, but nothing. Can anyone come forward and talk to us? Got somebody, but a lot of times when we replay back the footage, that's when we'll know what they're saying. We can't tell in real time sometimes. Sometimes we can tell in real time, which is good, but most of the time, you know.
That's something in Noah's videos I see a lot is he'll play back while editing and he'll notice something, right?
Yep.
Like you'll notice something in the editing process you didn't notice on the ground.
Right. Do you have a reason why you're here? Is it because you're... Oh, got someone, but...
I heard that.
It might take you a while to talk to us, but I believe you can.
We're here to listen. We just want to listen. Whatever you guys have to say.
I thought I heard a woman.
You guys haven't spoken in over 100 years. We're the first chance you're going to get to talk.
For real. For real. Oh,
What's that?
I don't know. It might be gibberish, or when we play it back, it could be something, you know?
It sounded kind of like Anne.
And
Anne Sullivan. Probably not, but...
can I get a name, please? What is your name? Huh? Got a little something, but we'll play it back and figure it out.
It sounded like Dan.
Dan?
Dan, maybe.
Maybe. So you can hear us, right? You're understanding this device? You're understanding this device. I hear you. Can you be a lot more clearer? We can't understand you right now. It would be really great if you can speak clearly into this device. Try your best. I believe you can. Could be nothing. I heard go, but that could be absolutely wrong.
Yo.
No.
I don't think that's someone from 100 years ago would say that.
Right?
You have a name, a personality, a birth date, a death date, and we want to know what it is.
A little bit something, but that could be interference.
Oh.
Tomorrow, but I could be absolutely wrong. It was the close actually to your phone. Did you say tomorrow? I can't hear you correctly. What are you trying to say? So, who am I talking to? Do you know your name? Huh? I'm hearing things now. That I think they're understanding it, but I don't know.
Yeah, like I feel like they know what this is now, but they can't fully express themselves. Yeah, like they're not getting full words out.
Are you here for family, by chance? Could be one, but I think that's wrong. Yeah. I can hear you understanding this device. I can hear you trying to speak. I believe in you. Can you try to use the antenna?
I don't know if that was something. So we're actually gonna try near this tombstone now. John Scanlon, who died in 1894.
AM?
Scanning. AM.
In reverse? John, if you are here right now, can you please come through?
Can you hear us, John? John Scanlon.
John, come on. I know you can, brother.
It's been a long time, dude. Anything.
You have enough, buddy.
What do you think about that penguin that's at your grave? It's a cute penguin.
John, can you please tell us about the penguin? No. Did you hear that?
Yes.
I heard no.
Oh, I heard yes.
Oh shit, we'll have to play back
Yeah,
the
we'll have to
footage.
play that back.
John, can you please tell us about the penguin? No. Did you hear that?
Yes.
Was that you, John? Can you please say yes or no? That's you. John, we are here for you.
You only. Say what,
It's a little something, but I don't know.
whatever you want.
Now's your time, John.
You can say whatever you want to us. We're listening. The spotlight is on you.
Literally. John, now it's your chance. No other person's gonna be here to talk to you. Well, I mean, that's not true. Yeah.
So unfortunately, guys, we were unable to find anything on this paranormal investigation at the Tewksbury Hospital Cemetery. We tried for quite a bit. The sun's coming down and still nothing. So, you know, unfortunately, not every paranormal investigation is going to be a smash hit. A lot of the times, as Noah was telling me, you come out with nothing, you know, it's a fruitless attempt. And unfortunately, this just happened to be a fruitless attempt. We didn't find anything on this investigation. But that being said, Noah has actually found many dope things on his many paranormal investigations spanning the years. And I just kind of want to give you a little taste of what he's actually found. So I'm going to include a couple clips of his own that he actually found while paranormal investigating.
Getting in
Get the out. Have you been making those noises? Downstairs. I am. Stop being such a little bitch.
talking about.
Hey, thank you guys for joining me. I've been J-Mass as always, and this has been another dope New England adventure. So that was really cool. That was my very first paranormal investigation ever. It was really interesting. You know, I've been to the Tewksbury Hospital Cemetery many times over the years, but this is the first time I've ever paranormally investigated, and doing it here was really interesting. So cool investigation here at the Pines, and Tewksbury Hospital as well. We saw the campus a bit. Very interesting campus. You know, as I mentioned, it is still an active medical center, but the history is fascinating. You know, little recap, it opened up in 1850 as the Tewksbury Almshouse, primarily helped poor people, but by the 1880s, it solely became a hospital. And between the 1890s and the 1930s, it underwent several expansions and grew its operations. By 1950s, it actually became the Tewksbury Hospital with that namesake. But by the 1970s, most of the buildings during those times were demolished and razed, and only a few remain today. But again, it is an active hospital. And this Tewksbury Hospital Cemetery, the Pines that we explored today, is also open to the public, hiking trails everywhere. It's an interesting spot. But again, also very sad. All these graves are unmarked, no names, no dates, just 8,500 people who perished, sadly. So it is a very somber location. But I still had a great time investigating it. And again, I want to shout out Noah Faraday. This was our very first collab. I had a great time, and you know, he showed me the ropes of the paranormal world. What do you think of today's investigation?
I think it was fruitless, but it was still fun nonetheless.
Still really fun. Yeah, I had a great time. And definitely check out Noah Faraday's YouTube channel, at Noah Faraday, like fire channel. He does a lot of urban exploration like I do. You've been to quite a few of the places I've been to, so, and ones I've never been, all throughout the New England area. Definitely check them out. I like it, yeah, dude.
Thank you,
so,
guys.
Check them out, and also subscribe to my channel, or you can follow me on Instagram, at JMassOfficial. That's at JMassOfficial. Yeah, Tewksbury Hospital Cemetery,
Hospital.
my first paranormal investigation. It was pretty dope.
Okay.
See you later.
Bye-bye.